The PJ Fleck Show is presented by Window Concepts and Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union.
Our how is everything. How you do something matters. Culture, how, next on mentality. That better be first.
The PJ Fleck Show starts now.
Hi everyone, Game 3 of the World Series has ended just in time for you to arrive here at the PJ Fleck Show. Welcome in everybody, joined as always by the head coach of Gopher football, PJ Fleck, alongside Gophers Hall of Famer Ron Johnson, KFAN's Justin Gaard. I'm Pierre Noujaim. Things did not go according to plan down in Iowa for the Gophers as Minnesota falls short against the Hawkeyes. PJ, I know it was a tough outing for you guys against the Hawkeyes. What was the message to your group after the game and going into this next week as you look to turn the next page and move on to the next game?
I didn't tell you, but Otani's joining our team. He's got some years of eligibility. He said he wanted to play for the Gophers and bring that magic.
Both sides? Does he have a split jersey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And punting.
Yeah.
And kicking.
Perfect.
I can't wait.
Snapping.
I can't wait to see him in action
at the same time. What a performance. Things like that happen. It's unfortunate. It's inexcusable. It all falls on me. We had 4 plays on offense, and by the time we got to our 5th play, we were down 17-0. And that is unacceptable. But I don't agree with that. They weren't prepared to play. They weren't ready to play. We didn't have a chance to get ready to play. Defensively, we didn't play well in the first drive or two. We give a pick 6. There's a punt return for a touchdown. Next thing you know, second quarter starts, you're down 31-0. So that is not the formula to beat Iowa. It's the complete opposite. You got to give them credit. They played really well. Almost perfect. Couldn't have gone more perfect, and they earned that. But my whole message was we didn't not play hard. We played really hard. We just played hard doing all the wrong things at times. And you got to be able to touch that stove. And unfortunately, I don't like that word embarrassing because I think that takes away from the respect of the team that you actually played, that they went out there and did what they did. And the score was 41-3. But we did not execute at a high level. We did not play at a high level. We did not play hard, though. So it was one of those games where you kind of look at the film, and after 4 plays, you're down 17-0, and you don't even really get into, did they play well? Did we not play well? How good was the game plan? How wasn't good of the game plan it was? Because you didn't even have that any data by the time the game was out of hand.
And I know I heard on the radio you talked about, meeting with the trainers and, the medical staff, and they're always keeping you abreast to what's next. Darius Taylor, we know what happened, tried to go, couldn't go. What does it look like for this Saturday?
The injury report came out 2 hours before kickoff. I'm not, I don't get involved in the medical stuff as much. One, strategic advantage. Mm-hmm. Darius is a really tough kid. Darius plays through a lot of different stuff. Unfortunately, he's had a little bit of that this entire year, and I know he really wanted to be out there, but we got 1 play out of him. And unfortunately, the game plan tilts a little bit more towards number 1. We think he's going to be out there. Medical staff clears him, and then, kind of goes out there and feels something. So, our medical staff's in charge of whether they keep playing, they don't keep playing, and they make that decision. So without A.J. Turner, without Darius Taylor, we're just a little bit different. And you take the best players away from a college football team, and there's a lot of young players around them. That's not an excuse, but that's a reason that you have to even do more as an offense, have more contingency plans, be able to respond a little bit better. But by the time that happened, we're down so much in Kinnick that it's really difficult to come back from.
One of those young players around him is the quarterback, Drake Lindsay, and I know you spent a lot of time last week talking to him about the Kinnick Stadium experience. What did you talk to him about, and what do you think he learned with how he played on Saturday?
Well, I think there's a difference between knowing and doing, and this is what I said from the beginning of the year. When I make the decision that we're going to play a freshman quarterback, and that is my decision and my decision only. When you make a decision to play a freshman quarterback, now you have to understand that there's going to be some peaks and there's going to be some valleys. There's going to be some massive peaks, like the Nebraska game, and there's going to be some low valleys, like the Iowa game. And you can tell somebody, teach somebody, coach somebody, show somebody as much as you want about how hard it is to play in that stadium. But if you haven't done it and haven't played in it, it's an experience that you'll remember forever. Instead of throwing that ball away, we throw it up for grabs. And that was a different interception than the pick 6. So he is a kid that is very honest with himself. He takes accountability and has an incredible amount of responsibility and wants to be able to grow. He'll learn from this. We'll be a better football team because of it. He'll be a better quarterback from it. But when you're a head coach and you make a decision to play as a freshman, these are the moments that you know are coming. You don't want them to be there. You don't know when they're going to come. But when they do, you got to be right there along the way talking to him, educating him about how he can continue to respond. And that's when you saw us talk a lot more on the sideline, probably than normal, because it was all about educating him and teaching him about that experience and what we need to do moving forward, what he needs to do moving forward, not this game, but just also games down the road.
You talked about it a little bit in your post-game press conference after the Iowa game. You referenced in the Ohio State game, hey, you just got beat by the best team in the country.
Yep.
Things like that happens. I got the impression from your post-game press conference, not to take anything away from what Iowa did, but this felt a little more self-inflicted wounds. Obviously, turnovers are a big part of that, but what else really, in your viewpoint, was kind of self-inflicted in this game?
Well, I mean, it's a technique of fundamentals, and I know I talked about that at the Nebraska game. The punt return, we got our two gunners going down there, and they've got to go, quote-unquote, shoot their gun at the near hip. They both run by the returner. We don't get him to do anything, and then he just takes off. We break contain with our long snapper, and he's out the gate. The whole point was to kick the ball out of bounds every single punt. Well, that was the game plan. We did that 1 out of 7 times, and the one we did went 11 yards off the side of our foot. So when we're talking about educating and executing a game plan, that's what I mean. We played bad football. 1 out of 7 that are supposed to be out of bounds, that's inexcusable. That means we didn't execute the game plan. Doesn't mean he didn't want to. Doesn't mean that he didn't work hard. Doesn't mean he didn't play hard. We didn't execute. So we played really hard. We just did a lot of bad things a lot of times and didn't execute. And you got to give them credit. Nothing's taken away from them. But 4 plays, we're down 17-0. And that, as you play Iowa, that's really, really difficult to respond from. Nor am I saying this is okay. I am a person who's always going to see it half full. I'm going to take all the knowledge that you possibly can because you never know what's going to happen on game day. It's unacceptable. It's not something that we take very lightly, but I don't like to use the word embarrassed. I think, JG and I talked about this. I hate that because I think that takes away from the execution and the success of somebody else. And just because they're our rival doesn't necessarily mean you don't respect them and know that they can do really well and score a lot of points and take advantage of your missed opportunities just like they did. So not good enough, unacceptable for sure. Apologize to all of our fans out there, but our team will respond, and that's how they're built.
And when you look at, Matt Kingsbury, Carter Mins, this defense as a whole, bright spots, and of course there's always bad spots. But when you think about Matt Kingsbury continuing to play well, another sack in this game, and multiple pressures in this game, what kind of trajectory does he have, or could he have? Because I don't think the ceiling's even been. I mean, the Emmett Johnson was a huge play, that run through sack. So where else can he go? Yeah,
he is. He's playing elite football right now, and whether that's at linebacker, whether that's at R, it kind of plays a lot of different positions, does a lot for our defense. I think he's taking the next right step. He's tough. He's got Big Ten blood running in his veins. His dad played at Purdue. He's becoming a really, really good football player, and we just need to get him on the field more, be more consistent, move him around because he can do so many different things.
Same for Carter Mins, who, can we call it like West Dakota when we talk about, or West Minnesota
yeah.
when we talk about the Dakotas, because obviously you want to grab players there. It's all Midwest, but he's another guy that sacked Saturday, 2.5 sacks against Nebraska. It seems like his next right steps are being taken as well.
They are, and now it just comes down to consistency on each play that he has. He's relentless. He's working hard in the weight room. He's taking all the integral parts of his game and his fundamentals and applying them to the game. I really like where he's at. Just got to take the next right step in his growth. Again, another young player on that field. There's a lot of young players on that field. That is not an excuse. That's just a reason that's why it's a developmental program. I love for them all to be grad transfers and seniors every single year. Seems like Iowa has that figured out. They don't take a lot of guys in the portal. They've had that for a long period of time. That's sustainability, and we're working towards that.
You mentioned a key word just a moment ago, response. You guys have responded well to adversity this season in terms of losses. You bounced back pretty well so far. You have another opportunity to do it again this week. What are you seeing now from your group after the loss to Iowa in terms of preparing that response for Michigan State?
Well, I love that the Sunday was all about the transparency and honesty. I get paid to tell the truth, and that's what the head coach gets paid to do. Our team meeting was exactly that, the truth. But it wasn't browbeating them. I mean, it wasn't negative. It was just the truth. And we have to play better. We have to not lose the game so quickly that we have no chance to win the game. And they saw those plays. They came out Sunday, had a really good practice. Monday was their day off, and today, we got to Tuesday, and Tuesday might have been one of the best practices I've seen our team have. And that's not coach speak. I'll tell you if it wasn't very good. This team responds really well. They're educated. They understand how to be able to go out there and respond and control the controllable. And I have no inclination of thinking they won't do that this week.
And when you talk about, you said you need to coach them better. You've talked about, you apologize to the fans. What, as a coach, when you sit down, whether it's with each coach position-wise, what are you kind of telling them as far as getting their guys ready to go against Michigan State?
Well, it's not about discouragement, and it's not about being negative. It's about, as you watch the whole game plan, you're like, okay, we need to start faster. We need to accelerate in the middle and finish strong. That can't be just something that we say. Mm-hmm. Everything we do, from the game plan to how we put them in position to when we're calling certain things, has to be able to put them in position to be successful. Now, there's accountability on every end. I'm the head football coach, so the buck stops with me. And I love a coach. They always take responsibility for that. We are always going to do that because everything runs through me. But the one thing in our program is everybody has accountability. And part of becoming a man and being an adult and learning in a life program is taking accountability for your own actions. So we're all going to take accountability for that. I'll start and show you how to do that in the media. I'll show you how to do that in different settings, especially team meetings. But we all have to say, what can we do better? And then go out there and execute it and do it at a high level.
Well, stay with us here on the PJ Fleck Show. When we come back, we'll be joined by one of the key pieces on offense. Wide receiver Le'Meke Brockington joins the set. You don't want to miss that conversation. Coming up next on the PJ Fleck Show.
You're watching the PJ Fleck Show.
Welcome back, everybody, to the PJ Fleck Show. As promised, wide receiver Le'Meke Brockington joining us here on set. Mekhi, always great to have you, man. Good to have you back.
Great for having me.
Want to start with what happened against Iowa. You're a veteran team leader on this team. As a team leader, how do you go about rallying the troops and get you guys ready to go for Michigan State? As somebody who's been playing a lot of games here at Minnesota, you've bounced back from a lot of losses. What do you say to some of the guys?
Just let them know that we got to respond from the week, put it behind us. Like Fleck always talked to us about being 1-0 every day. So we got to have that mentality, just fall in love with the process, getting better every day, working with one another. At the end of the day, we still got to focus on our main goal, which is go play the next game, win the next game. I feel like we take that very serious. We take that as a practice mentality as well. We got to attack practice the same way. It's every rep, every technique, teach it as 1-0 mentality. So, yes.
And when I played with a guy, Marcus Robinson. PJ probably remembers Marcus Robinson, old head, and we used to make fun of him. They used to bring in walkers and Depends diapers and all kinds of stuff after games. Being an older guy now for 18-year-olds, fiance, married, all that stuff, been here for a while, do the guys ever, ask you serious questions about life, or do they actually pick on you for being older?
A little bit of both, I would say. They like to call me the unk in the room, in the wide receiver room. So they call me unk. I mean, I accept it, been here for a while. I got a lot of young guys coming to me asking for life advice, asking for, I won't say injury advice, because I've been injured through my career. So they've done a great job of coming in and asking me how I dealt with certain injuries, how I became over that, and more importantly, my mental of how I came through that adversity of injuries. So I feel like they do a great job of coming in, asking me questions, especially Jalen Smith. He had a little injury. He always came to me asking me how I went through my injury. We had a similar injury before. I just tell him that's a whole mentality thing. You're going to go through some pain, but pain is only temporary. That's what I like to live by. So I gave him that type of wisdom. I feel like he's carrying it on very well.
PJ, you've had Le'Meke for a number of years now. He's a young man who is always smiling. I can't imagine you ever get on him because it's too difficult to be mad at him when he's always smiling all the time. What has it been like having him? And have you gotten to try the famous Brockington wings yet?
Well, one, he's a breath of fresh air constantly. He's like this all the time, right? And I think that's what makes him such a great player, is that he has a great perspective of life. He has a great perspective of the game of football. He's been through certain instances that have been football's been taken from him with a series of injuries. But I think that's where he's built that leather skin and those scars. We talk about the road to 500, and nobody's been on a road to 500 more than this guy. And it's been really fun to watch him step into that number one wide receiver. And the second thing, no, I have not had the wings.
Not yet? Okay.
I hear about them.
Okay.
We kind of do this Wing Wednesday, in the team. And I just had – nobody brings a plate down to the head football coach in all these years. You know what I mean? And come contract time, everybody wants to be in the head coach's office. But butter him up with some wings would be really good, because I do love chicken wings. But he's got a special spice rub that he does that I heard is just absolutely unbelievable.
I asked Logan Loya about that, actually. You know, Logan would not give it up. You know, I tried to get it to you. So Logan, you got to know too, Le'Meke, Logan's very loyal to you in those wings too.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
And when you look at Michigan State, you know, you guys watch film, and of course you got to move on to the next game. So when you're looking at Michigan State corners, safeties, you know, they have a really good, strong safety that likes to come down in the box. They, you know, they want to try to play that same Detroit-style football that Michigan plays. They want to intimidate. How do you, one, make sure your receivers are ready to go, but then how do you see yourself attacking this defense?
I like to try to envision myself within that play while I'm watching film, especially if I see a situation that might not come up in the game. I try to envision it that will come up in the game, especially for the physicality part of it. I try to get in that mental physicality state of mind, let the guys know it's starting with me for setting out the tone of physicality. If I can set it off with a physicality tone, I know the rest of my guys will follow me. It's just as a leadership standpoint from my point. And going through the week, we just have those guys on the scout team come in and be aggressive towards us so we can be prepared throughout the week to have a physical game.
And PJ, you know, you got a lot of young receivers out there too, Jalen Smith being one of them. How do you make sure that, one, they are open to come to you for answers, and Simon as well, but then also using guys like Le'Meke?
Well, I think that's just the culture that we create, that when your best players are your hardest workers and then they become your best leaders, I think that opens up the communication factor to everybody. Everybody feels comfortable because there is no fake piece to anybody on this football team. They can go in there, they can ask. I think it's hard to create within a program to have that type of transparency. And then, like, Meckie's been here a long time. I mean, it's not Meckie's job to talk to a freshman and make him better. Meckie's worried about a lot of other things, but he does it. And I think that's what a lot of our leaders on this football team do. And it's not necessarily their job, but as leaders, you hope that they take that responsibility upon themselves and really make the program better from the ground up.
Well, Le'Meke, as always, we really appreciate your time. Continue health and success the rest of the way, and continue success in the kitchen and on the grill as well for you.
Yes.
We all
I actually just made some strawberry.
And you didn't bring
strawberry banana pudding cake. I just
made
it last night.
What?
Just first time actually making it, so I had.
And how did it turn out?
It turned out great. My fiance loved it, so she's always my test person. So anytime I make up a new meal, she's be right there to taste it.
You need to create the Le'Meke tailgate. Like, you prepare the stuff, tell people to make it, and then people just show up for the tailgate. You're warming up. We'll deliver the food.
Cooking with Le'Meke Brockington, soon to be coming to the Fox 9 airwaves, I'm sure, at some point. Thanks
You
again,
know how,
Le'Meke.
like, on Big Noon Kickoff, they bring in all those trays.
Exactly.
Where's our tray of food? Meckie, really disappointing.
More to come here on the PJ Fleck Show. When we come back, we'll dive a little deeper into this weekend's opponent. What's it going to take to knock off Michigan State? We'll talk about that with PJ on the other side of the break.
You're watching the PJ Fleck Show.
Welcome back into the PJ Fleck Show, everybody. Time now to take a deeper dive into Michigan State and what makes them so dangerous. And, Coach, I want to start with their running back, Mekhi Frazier, who's coming off his best game of the season, averaged nearly 8 yards a carry in that game against Michigan last week. What do you notice when you see him run the football, and what's it going to take to try to slow him down?
Well, there's not one person that always brings him down. He does a great job getting his pads parallel to the line of scrimmage, goes and gets the hard yards. He's quick, he's agile, he's hard to bring down. And I think when you're playing against a team like Michigan, who has one of the better defenses in the country, I think it just shows how good he is.
Yeah.
And when you look at Joe Rossi, familiar face, you know the defense. What is that mindset going and how to attack in a Joe Rossi defense?
You know, he's made some tweaks. I think every great defensive coordinator makes tweaks throughout the years. I mean, we understand more personality than anything, just like he's got the personality of our football team as well. So I think there's some carryover, but it helps both sides. It doesn't just help us. It helps Joe Rossi having familiarity with our roster. You know, but Joe's a phenomenal person. He's a great husband. He's always been a great friend. He did a lot for the University of Minnesota, and you know, he's always got aggressive defenses, and they're making it his own as he continues to go. You can see him playing better and better football as the year goes on. But you know as well as I do, everything gets thrown out. I mean, you got to play your best football of the year every single week. And last week we didn't, and look what happened. This week we've got to be able to respond to that.
What stands out about their quarterback, Aiden Childs, and Ron's favorite position, wide receiver?
Yeah, well, Nick Marsh is one of the best receivers in the entire country.
Yeah.
He's also got 2 Robins. There's a Batman and 2 Robins next to him. Very, very explosive playmaking ability. Childs always can keep things alive with his legs. I think they're talking about playing the backup as well, so we have to have a plan for both kids because they're both having success. Childs, I think, completed almost like 20 straight passes against Indiana. I mean, you're talking about a very accurate football team that played very well on the road against Indiana. Again, it's the Big Ten. So we've got to do a great job with the fundamentals, blocking, tackling, getting people on the ground, swarm defense. We got to get some takeaways, and we've got to protect the football.
2 quarterbacks. I mean, what is the challenge in that? When one comes in, another goes out. Like, what? How do you have to adjust, like, on the fly? I know you say you prepare for both, but it can't be that easy in game going from one to the other.
Well, the good thing is you do have data on both of them. It's not like they're going to play both and you don't have any data. I don't know if there's necessarily a big change to the scheme just because they're playing the other guy. Childs and him have a lot of familiarities. They both can run. So I don't know how much is going to be 2 game plans. We won't know until we're actually in the game. But you look at the film, you look at what both players do really well, and then you create the game plan from there.
What did Le'Meke say? Was it a strawberry cheese? Banana cake? And you didn't get a chance to try that either?
No.
Oh,
Speaking of treats, though, Halloween, we know that's coming up. How cool is it to see kids dressed like you? Like, do you ever get weirded out by that?
Yeah, we've seen that.
Or
the kids, it's all good.
Kids is funny. The adults, it's a little strange.
It's when the adults show up at the house as me and then Heather. Like, the girl's got the sleeve on, the tattoo sleeve, dark hair. And those are the ones that you're kind of like, okay, all right, okay, good for you. And then
they're doing me better than me, and I'm me.
I'm like, you know what? You could be me. Why not? You know what? You look just as good as me. You do all my interviews.
Run out of the
week.
tunnel.
Yeah.
You do,
I might have to take a
this
picture
week
this
for
week.
the
There's
Iowa
a guy that
week. You answer
stands
those
right
hard
in front
questions.
of Goldie's locker room, dressed as you. I don't know if you've heard this. And people actually come up to him sometimes and he'll fake sign autographs.
That's awesome. I absolutely love that. I'm going to hire that guy for all the press conferences after losses.
It'll be that guy next week.
Like,
on
why
the
don't
PJ
we
Fleck
be
Show.
outside the stadium?
Don't forget to join us on the Gopher pregame show.